You're stuck in traffic. Nothing has moved in 6 minutes. Then the cars ahead of you part, and you see it. Glass on the asphalt, a hood folded like paper. And you slow down. The lane is clear. You don't have to. But something in you wants to look. And a second later, you feel sick about that. Here's what nobody tells you. Your eyes found that wreck before you decided to look. Not after, before. There is a pathway in your head that the neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent his career mapping. He called it the low road. Most of what you see takes the slow route. Into your eyes, up to the thinking part of your brain, where it gets identified, labeled, understood. That takes a few hundred milliseconds, long enough to become a thought. But some visual information skips all of that. It takes a shortcut straight down to the amygdala. That's the almond-shaped alarm system buried deep in your brain, and it does not think. It does not label. It only says one thing. Something is wrong, look now. Your head turned. Then you noticed you had turned it. So the guilt you felt arrives second. You are apologizing for a decision you never made. But that only explains the first half second. It doesn't explain why you keep looking. Because you do keep looking. You slow to 15. You crane your neck. You take in details you will think about tonight. In bed, in the dark. And this behavior is so reliable, so universal, that traffic engineers have a name for the crashes it causes. Secondary accidents. People rear-ending each other while staring at the wreck ahead. Think about that for a moment. Your urge to look at danger is strong enough to create more danger. Why would evolution ever build that? A researcher named Coltan Scrivener has spent years studying exactly this. He calls it morbid curiosity. He built a scale to measure it, and when he did, he found something that surprised a lot of people. It isn't rare. It isn't a defect in some small group of disturbed individuals. It is ordinary, and it is nearly everywhere. Because information about danger is the most valuable information there is. Your ancestors lived in a world where the difference between a long life and a short one was knowing exactly how the last person died. Which animal, which cliff, which stranger, which berry. And you could not learn that lesson by living it. Because living it was the thing that killed you. You had to learn it by looking at what happened to someone else. So the ones who looked away survived a little less often than the ones who stared. You are descended from the starers. And there is one detail that makes this stranger still. In 2017, a psychologist at the University of Amsterdam named Suzanne Oosterwijk ran an experiment. She gave people a simple choice, over and over again. One option was a neutral image. The other was something disturbing. Violence, injury, death. Nobody made them choose it. There was no reward for choosing it. They chose it anyway, again and again. They knew it would feel bad. They picked it anyway. Because feeling bad was never the point. Knowing was the point. And you already understand this, even if you have never put it into words. It's why you read the whole article about the plane crash. Why you know how the disaster unfolded, minute by minute. Why the true crime documentary is playing while you fold laundry. You are not being entertained. You are studying. You are running a simulation of a world that could hurt you, from somewhere it can't reach you. So what is actually happening inside that car? In that half second, an old system fires before you can stop it. Then a much newer part of you catches up, the part that has manners, the part that knows a real person is having the worst day of their life, 10 meters away. And that newer part is horrified by what the older one just did. That feeling in your stomach is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is the sound of two brains, built 400 million years apart, disagreeing inside one skull. And notice which one you feel guilty about. Not the looking, the wanting to look. You are ashamed of an instinct that has no idea you exist. But there is a reason that shame comes so fast. Because looking is also the first step toward helping. The same reflex that turns your head toward a wreck is the one that pulls a stranger out of a car before it burns. Attention comes first. Everything else gets built on top of it. So the next time you are sitting in that line of traffic, and the cars ahead of you part, and you feel your foot lift off the accelerator before you have decided anything at all. You are not a bad person, slowing down to watch someone else's worst day. You are a very old animal, doing the one thing that kept your bloodline alive long enough to build a car. Look, then help.